Welcome again to Here's Why with Mark and Eric. Now, today, Eric, I want to ask you, why should we bother syndicating our content?
Well, there's a lot of reasons for doing it, but to me it starts with the whole notion of what I call other people's audiences. And that is doing things where you get exposure to the audiences of other sites, right? Other web properties out there. Really good thing to do. You can do this in social media. You can do this through a very smart kind of guest posting type campaign. But you can also do it by syndicating content. But I actually want to step back a second and let's actually define how syndicating content is different from what people call guest posting or bylined articles.
So what is syndicating?
Syndicating is when you take content substantially in the form in which it already exists on your site and you allow a third-party site to publish that same content. Whereas in a guest posting or bylined article strategy, you're not actually publishing the content on your site at all. You're only giving it to the other site to publish. So the difference is you're actually deliberately, I'm going to say a shocking SEO thing here, creating duplicate content, and you're allowing that to happen.
But isn't duplicate content always a bad thing in SEO?
It can be a bad thing, but you have to take this and execute this the right way. So if you can get the syndicating site, and I'll explain later when my hands were like this. Here's our site, here's the syndicating site, right? If you have them implement a rel canonical tag back to the original article, that's one thing that helps deal with the duplicate content issue. Or, second choice, have them put a no index tag on their copy of the article, which causes it to be taken out of the index, but it can actually still pass PageRank through links back to you. That's the second choice. And then the third choice is you have the syndicating article. If they won't do choices 1 and 2, actually implement a link back to the original article. You don't need to do all 3 or 2 of these things. Any one of them will do, and I did list them in priority order.
Okay, and those tell the search engine that the one that's being linked to is the original content.
Correct. But let me actually finish the rest of the story with syndicating content. Okay, we talked about exposure to other people's audiences, but you don't do this with just any site. You're always looking to do this with a high authority site. So if we just use Moz domain authority as a metric, and let's say your site is a domain authority of 52, you don't go syndicating content to domain authority 35 sites. Okay? You want to be shooting for 60, 65, 70 higher domain authority sites, because that's the only situation in which it's worth it from a strict SEO perspective. I wouldn't evaluate it only from that perspective, though. You really want to make sure that it's a highly reputable site with a strong audience that's worth getting your content in front of.
All right, so let's finish by taking it back to what you first said, the benefit of this. Why, again, would you want to even do that? Why would you want to syndicate your content out to other sites and other sources?
Because you have whatever audience you have, and hopefully you've done a great job and you have a strong audience, but the site that you're syndicating to has a different audience. Hopefully there's some real overlap, because that means the right kind of people are there, but they're going to have a lot of other people who are not currently following you directly. So by getting on their site, you get exposure to those people, which is a fantastic thing.
Okay, great. Make that content work for you even harder. Get it in front of more eyeballs, more people seeing your name, your brand. Sounds like a plus for me and for you and for all of us. Join us next time for the next Here's Why with Mark and Eric.